When Doomfist was added to Overwatch 2 as a tank, there were a lot of changes, including how he got his overhealth, his uppercut was removed, his empowered punch was changed, a lot of things were changed throughout Doomfist. In today's video I want to talk about what I would change about Vendetta if she was a tank. Now I am doing this in the stadium practice range, so I have a bit of changes that I can make in game. So let's talk about some of these. I want to go through a few things. I want to go through the base changes, the tank sub role that I would choose for her, as well as some possible abilities and ultimate ideas. Now, let's talk about the base stuff. The sub role that I would want Vendetta in, and that I think she would ultimately benefit from the most, is the Stalwart. This allows tanks to have a knockback and slow resistance, so this would be very good for her mobility, especially considering that she relies so much on Onslaught to get faster attack speed and faster movement speed, as well as meaning that she is not as easily slowed in stuff like maybe her whirlwind dash. Now, as you can see, I would also like to make her, I would say, about 35 to 50% bigger. There is an ability or gadget in Stadium that allows you to do this and gain Unstoppable, so I am demonstrating that sometimes in this video to show that. Now, some things that I would like to change about her health is that I would like to make her 450 HP. The reason for this and having 200 of it be armor is because she would have similar stats to someone like JQ, but she does not have the range or lifesteal that JQ does, so I think she would benefit more from this. Additionally, I'd also like to, as the video demonstrates, have an Onslaught stack of 8 instead of 5, just like her perk has, and she can get in Stadium. I think this makes her more mobile. I think this makes her more viable ultimately in the meta. She still would probably be something like a Doomfist where you'd have to specialize in her of some type. But ultimately I want to make Vendetta more of a self-sustaining or sort of team-based tank, and you'll see that with some of the ideas for ultimates or abilities that I have for her. Now, some possible ability ideas. I first want to go through some things that I want to get rid of. I want to get rid of her projected edge. This, I think, is good for her as a DPS because it adds, again, extra DPS to her, a little bit more range, especially if she's trying to finish off somebody that just got out of her range. But I think this would not be good for her as a tank. I think this could be changed to a new ability that I'm calling Raging Strike. This would grant 3 Onslaught stacks and overload her Hardlight Sword, causing her range to increase by 20%. Now, there's an ability in Stadium, a weapon item that you can grab that grants 25% range, so this would increase it from, I think, 4 meters to 5 meters in range. So I'm showing that right here, 25%, and it grants 10% attack speed, but I don't think that Vendetta should have more attack speed than her Onslaught allows. So another ability that I like too, this could possibly replace Whirlwind, simply because she is pretty vulnerable in that ability. I think the Victor, which would replace Projected Edge or Whirlwind, whatever ability seems better when designing it. I think this would grant 50 overhealth and 50% lifesteal for 8 seconds. This would be good. 50 overhealth is not good. It's not even that much, but I think when you're pressing your ability buttons in the middle of a fight, I think that 50 would be good, as well as the 50% lifesteal would be very good for if she's in the middle of a large team. She could activate it, swing large, just like I'm doing there, and then she could get lots of life off that. Now, this comes with some caveats. I'd want to reduce her base damage from 45 per swing to 40, and also her overhead swing from 120 damage to 100 damage, meaning she only gets 50 overhealth per overhead during this ability, as well as only 20 per swing. Now, her ultimate I'm calling Dai Golpitami, which is one of her voice lines, which is come on, hit me. And this would max out her Onslaught, refresh cooldowns, and she would gain Unstoppable during this. During this time, overhead strike would have the Sunder effect, just like how her ultimate does, but it would have much less range because she has to have her overhead, and she wouldn't have it for as long. I think this would maybe last enough time to get, let's say, like 3 or 4 overhead strikes down, which I think is quite enough, and having Unstoppable during this time might be too much. Maybe that would be something of a perk, like Junker Queens. Now, some alternative ideas that I have alternative ults that would be maybe more team-based. I have Victoria Ult Morts, which is victory or death, and this would grant current onslaught stack to all allies in 40 meters, and also grant yourself max onslaught or 50 overhealth per onslaught already active. Every swing or overhead critical now fires a projected edge. So this would still have projected edge in her kit, but it would be based on her ultimate. That would increase her range, give her more stack over health. I think this would ultimately be more team-based, but I'm not sure if that fits Vendetta's character. This is ultimately what I think Vendetta could look like as a tank. I think the extra size and range is probably most important. The ability cooldowns are all up in the air for me. I think something like the Raging Strike of the extra onslaughts and range would be something. All these I feel would be longer cooldowns, not a fast cooldown thing like Doomfist. I think they would be similar to Shout with Junker Queen, where it's more of a, I think 12 or 13 second cooldown. I think longer maybe, but ultimately I think they would make her more viable in quick interactions as well, just more of a deadly threat. I do want to mention some of these ideas came from another person. Let me just make sure I get this right. It's Just Jarkin1. He made a video about Vendetta's design and how some of her concept art made her look bulkier with the shoulder pads, and I think he made a great video about her design, and it's great to see other people talking about this stuff, and ultimately that inspired me to make this video. So I want to shout out Just Jarkin1. Alright. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos, have any video ideas for me, just leave a comment, leave a like, and I'll see what I can do. Have a good day.